My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone. I'm Roberta, and I'm the first speaker of the proposition team. Today, we're here to tackle the following motion. Influencers in the dietary field are more harmful than beneficial. And this team strongly agrees with the fact that influencers in the dietary field actually had a really bad impact on people. But before explaining you why, I would like to redefine the motion. I would like to focus on the term influencer specifically, which refers to an individual that uses social media platforms as their main source of income. Their role is to entertain and influence people through their content, and they are employed to convey specific messages to their public. We will demonstrate to you why we think that specifically influencers in the dietary field had a bad impact through three fundamental points. The first point of our teamline regards the fact that influencers promote a not healthy life. The second point regards the lack of credentials, and the third point regards unrealistic beauty standards. The first point, as I said before, regards the fact that influencers in the dietary field specifically act like they promote an healthy life, which has become a trend on every social media platform, but actually they encourage people to use methods to lose weight that are not supported by any evidence, and that also promote a lifestyle that we consider to be unhealthy. In fact, I would like to make an example about this. The influencer Chloe Ting, who became very popular during the first quarantine, actually promoted many fitness routines and many diets because she wanted their followers to encourage them to lose weight and to be fit. But actually she doesn't have a degree that proves that she is actually capable and that she has the ability to make these recommendations. And also it is impossible to promote a diet that that is available for everyone, since every human being has their specific needs and a certain type of food that they prefer, or something that is healthier for them. So it would be impossible to promote a diet that is available for everyone, since Chloe Ting did not agree in doing personal meetings in order to come up with diets that are actually specific for the person, since she doesn't have the competence to do that. Also, this house believes that influencers in the dietary field also encourage people to starve themselves in order to lose weight. In fact, this is a very common thing, since especially models that also use social media platform to influence people always promote the fact that in order to lose weight and to gain the body shape that you please, you need to lose a lot. You need to starve yourself and eat less. For instance, there is this Victoria's Secret model, Jasmine Tookes, that used her Instagram platform in order to tell people about her diet, even though she doesn't even have the degree that is necessary to do that. And also she showed in her videos that she was actually starving herself, and if we take for example how much if we take for example her ate, or actually what she needed to do in a day, what she ate was not sufficient. Now I would like to go on by talking about my second point, which regards the fact that that influencers do not have the credential that are necessary to do something like that. And this is something that I have also mentioned before, but now I'm going to go specific about it by making an example. Kim Kardashian, which is a very popular influencer that also promotes diets and food products. Actually, during her TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashian, when she was asked by her agency to sponsor a protein shake, she herself said that she doesn't even know what she was sponsoring and what she was doing, and that actually she didn't even like the shake and think that it was working. So this house believes that influencers only do this. Yes.
The fact that to promote an healthy lifestyle, you do not need exclusively a degree to promote a positive lifestyle and a diet.
But if this house doesn't agree with what you have just stated, because in order to promote an healthy life and to recommend people the right food to eat in order to be healthier, which should be the point of the existence of diets and fitness routines, they should actually have a degree. Because if they don't, then what are they recommending? Do they really know what will be the impacts of what they are recommending, and if it will actually make people healthier? And this would be actually impossible, because food that is a part of healthy diets for everyone does not exist. In fact, diets should be, as I previously stated, specific. Now, moving on with my speech, I would like to make another example, which regards also a fitness and dietary influencer, Taylor Mega, that has even a website in which she promotes fitness routines and diets. But actually, as I said about Kim Kardashian, she does not have the competence to do something like this, since she doesn't have a degree, she never studied, but people actually listen to her because she has the dream body type that people want. And this is what influencers in the dietary field are doing. They are making people think that if they eat what they recommend, they will achieve the perfect body type and the healthy body type. But this point will be better explained by the second speaker of my team. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, judges. Good morning, proposition team. Our team will bring forward the opposition argument for when it comes to the motion that has been previously stated, which is influencers in the dietary field are more harmful than beneficial. We personally think that as a confutation, it would be fitting to say that everything that the proposition said essentially boils down to complete and utter misinformation, since the various examples that they carried out are all of people who have been misinformed or are completely unknowing and unaware of what they are selling and what they are marketing. We believe that influencers are in fact people, we refer to influencers as people who not only use socials for money, but also have the culture and the studies to back it up. Because we need certifiable evidence that these people are actually reliable on what they are doing. So misinformation exists, and it has always existed literally everywhere, where there's no actual way to stop people from being misinformed on specific subjects. But thanks to the diffusion of these arguments on social media and things as such, go right ahead.
If most of the influencers in the dietary field actually are misinformed, So this just proves, don't this prove the fact that they are more harmful than good, than beneficial?
It doesn't necessarily prove that because people who have actually studied and know the subject exists on socials and are actually active to disprove what you guys have said. Because unrealistic diets and in general things that will harm you if you actually carry them out the way that they're intended to are going to be confuted in some way, somehow, somewhere, by someone. There's actually certified people around us that have a genuine education and permission to carry out these searches. I hope to have answered your question. I will go on with my argument. Now, after this confutation, I will be carrying out the first argument of my team, which is promoting body positivity and, in general, awareness of what is the human body and its importance. Because influencers, which we define, as I said before, as specialists in the field, can, when they want the people to feel happy as is. That's the point of beauty influencers, to make the people feel happy in their own body, to prevent the phenomenon that is called body dysmorphia, which is a person not feeling inside of their own body. This is not only a case in trans people, but also in people who are morbidly obese, who are extremely skinny, who suffer from bulimia, who suffer from anorexia, and all these diseases that in general affect your body, affect your state of mind, your state of self that can possibly harm. Go right ahead.
How can you stated that this employs body positivity because people feel happy in their body.
Yes.
How can you accept yourself when these dietary influencers promote a diet that will change your body?
Yes. The thing is, do you expect the people who carry out these diets actually want to change their body for good? And we're not saying that there's only bad diets around the internet, around the online. We're just saying that good people exist and good dietologists actually exist around the internet. But you may ask, how can these people share the common values of what they define as healthy? Well, I have 2 points on that. Because talking about a healthy lifestyle on the internet and in general promoting its values helps a ton with the diffusing what is the ideology of a good diet. In fact, the UE itself decided to promote a very good diet called the Mediterranean diet in one of its articles, which basically states the perfect balance of what are meats, what are vegetables, what are in general all the nutrients a man or a woman needs. Another huge part of this is talking about, I'm sorry, are you feed? A huge part of this also relies on what is mental health. As I said before, body dysmorphia is very existent, and this is a point my second speaker, Valerio Di Falco, will go better into by talking about body dysmorphia and its important parts, and going deeper into the psychology of diets. Indeed, lifestyles of the dietary fields are more beneficial than they are not. This is what our team wants to imply. This is what our team wants to bring forward with our arguments. Having said that, I want to do a general recap of what I have just said, because I have said that everything that the proposition team has said eventually boils down to complete and utter misinformation. This misinformation can be easily disproven. It can be easily confuted by people who are actually educated in the matter. Now, I have stated the 2 basic points of a functioning diet, which are a good sense of self, preventing body dysmorphia, which I've already said, and talking about mental health and its importance. We believe that there is good around the internet. We believe that diets, even on the internet, can be helpful to us and to the people around us who really, really need it. We have brought forward the 3 main points, which is our team, which is going to be our team line. which is my points, which are body positivity. The points that my second speaker will bring forwards, which are inclusivity and eating disorder awareness, which is a huge part in what we are going to say. And our third speaker, which will go on to confute whatever the proposition team will respond to our second speaker. Having said this, I think my speech is concluded and I rest my case.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone. It is such an honor and pleasure to be here, and I'm Flavia, the second speaker of the proposition team. First and foremost, I'd like to address what the opposition team just claimed with the first speaker. So, the opposition team claimed that influencers, in the majority of the cases, are people who have an education in the field and so are capable of addressing these issues and maybe giving some piece of advice to their followers. However, I'd like to confute what they've just stated. Indeed, influencers, in the majority of the cases, are common people who, thanks to maybe luck or to their appearance, have gained great success and popularity. And so, they are people who do not have the capabilities to address issues and maybe to help people lose weight or change their body looks, however, still being confident and respect their willing. So, moreover, the opposition team also claimed that dietary influencers promote body positivity. Actually, this is not something that can be said. Indeed, dietary influencers do not promote body positivity at all. Indeed, they sponsorize a lifestyle based on changing the way that people look in order to fit into the beauty standards of our society. Yes, sure, go on.
Are you aware of the fact that, with respect to the past, nowadays body acceptance and body positivity is a fact? Therefore, influencers have done more good than harm.
Yes, if you talk of influencers in a general way, this is actually true. But now we're talking about dietary influencers who promote diets in order to lose weight in the majority of the cases. Indeed, from their perspective, being maybe overweight or not as thin and fit as they are is not something healthy and good. Thanks for your POI. Moreover, the opposition team also introduced the theme of the Mediterranean diet, which is said to be promoted by influencers in general, but this is actually not actually concern the motion, and so doesn't have any relevance into the argument that we are bringing to discussion today. Now, I would like to introduce the third point of our team, the proposition team, which regards the unrealistic body standards that are set by influencers. Indeed, dietary influencers are becoming increasingly popular. However, as my teammate Roberta stated previously, they result more harmful rather than good and beneficial to their followers. Dietary influencers base their success and gain fame mainly through their body appearance. However, they use social media platforms to promote absolutely unrealistic body standards, which actually end up affecting people's confidence and self-esteem. Indeed, even those influencers who show themselves as fit and healthy, in the majority of the cases use platforms and apps or maybe websites to Photoshop the way their body looks. They do this in order to fit into the standards, the beauty standards that our society unfortunately sets. Yes.
How can you say that for all the dietary influencers?
We can say that's for the majority. I said actually not all the dietary influencers, but the vast majority of them does do so. And actually there's even empirical evidence, as I will show later on with my example regarding this subject. Thank you for your POI. So, as I was saying, they Photoshop the way their body looks in order to fit into the beauty standards that our society sets. And for instance, in support of this claim, it is worth mentioning the case of one of the most influential and successful influencers of the field, Pamela Reif, who, as I said previously, bases her income on her slim and thin body, which in reality is reached and achieved through the help of Photoshop. We actually know for a fact that these influencers modifies the way her body looks. Indeed, in the past, there have been some Photoshop fails that have been proven with empirical evidence. So, By promoting these unrealistic body standards, which are not reachable even for influencers themselves, they actually promote body dysphoria and eating disorders. Indeed, the main part of the dietary influencer followers is represented by young adults or maybe teenagers, who, as I think we all know and can say, unfortunately, are extremely influenceable and actually are affected by the general public and the beauty standards that our society sets. Indeed, they, in majority of the cases, are eager to reach these beauty standards in order to fit into what our society imposes and sets. So the fact that they, as I was saying, dietary influencers allegedly represent the epitome of beauty and health induces people to be obsessed with the way their body looks. And so this even makes them more insecure and focused on comparing themselves constantly to others. Indeed, actually, influencers themselves are affected by this vicious circle of lies and are not capable anymore to rationalize what is reachable and what is actually true and what is the product of lies and the standards that our society is currently setting. In confirmation of this, it is probably worth mentioning a great example that we brought to the table, which is the case of an Italian influencer called and known as Nana on the social media platforms. Firstly, this influencer was known for her comedian and funny content. However, when she was the subject and exposed to hate comments on the way her body looked, she started to promote extreme diets and exercise, becoming a dietary influence. So she later on confirmed that she was struggling with the way her body looked, and she was also suffering of an eating disorder. So, in confirmation of all the elements that have been exposed through our team line, and also thanks to my teammate, we can actually assert and affirm that body influencers and just in general dietary influencers are not a good thing for not only teenagers but just the general public, as they promote and support unreachable body standards that induce people to be insecure and actually shift from reality and focused on unreachable and absolutely unacceptable beauty standards, which actually lead to mental health issues, as I said previously, such as eating disorders or maybe even body dysphoria. Through our team line, we basically proved that the opposition team was not exposing the real situation that is happening with dietary influencers. And yes, thank you so much for your time.
Speech is starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, I'm Valerio, the second speaker of the opposition team, and I'm going to debunk what has been said by the other team. Well, first of all, they said that the experts, the influencers on the dietology field are not the vast majority. Well, they have no proof of that, but let's say that they are. Let's think that they are not the vast majority. Therefore, the experts are not the vast majority, and the common people are the vast majority. So, experts, we have showed you that experts have a vast more impact on social media, as the harm that the common people do is less than the good that experts do, as experts can spread the real information, can debunk all the fake news that fake influencers, bad influencers on the dietology field can spread. Therefore, experts have more impact, can do what's good for society. And another proof of that is that social media undermines fake news, as there are guidelines, there are algorithms that try to undermine fake news. That's obviously not always the case, but there are a lot of examples of that, and therefore experts have more impact than fake influencers, and therefore dietology influencers have do more good than harm. So let's debunk another point. The Mediterranean diet proves actually the fact that there is an existence of a general guideline. Of course, experts cannot cannot give a specific diet to every single one of their followers, but they can give general guidelines. They can teach about an healthy lifestyle, the diet value. They can therefore educate their followers. They can spread information. Therefore, the influencers can promote, for example, the fact that eating too much red meat is bad for your health. And that's a fact because the Mediterranean diet says so, the European Union that promotes the Mediterranean diet says so. Therefore, influencers, experts, and common people actually can spread information of the topic.
Don't you think that this is just common knowledge and not something that is said by the dietary influence?
Yeah, of course it's common knowledge, but there are people that eat red meat every day. Therefore, even though it's a common knowledge, it is not always respected. And thanks to influencers, we have the opportunity of teaching newer generations about this problem, but also older generation, as I'm going to show with my points. My first point is the inclusion of social medias. Social medias, in fact, are a big platform which is very inclusive, as the stakeholders are both young generations and older generations. Therefore, influencers on the dietology field can educate everyone to diet value. Therefore, let's start from the main stakeholders, which are young generations, of course. They have the possibility of getting educated because their parent not always knows about diets, while influencers, expert influencers, but also common people can give general guidelines which are useful. An example of that is that in the past, in America, McDonald's was glorified as a cheap and alternative to common food. Therefore, in the past, McDonald's was glorified, while nowadays we all know the bad consequences for your health that McDonald's has. An example of that, the proof of that, is the fact that people are now boycotting McDonald's, even though it's for political issues, but they have understood that it is dangerous for your health. So that's the difference with the past, and that's why dietology influencers have done more good than harm. Now let's go to the other stakeholders, which are older generations. In fact, older generations are biased. Older generations tend to follow their beliefs. They tend to follow their habits. Therefore, if an adult or a old person follows an unhealthy lifestyle, then the socials, the influencers on dietology field can influence them in changing their lifestyle, because information on social media is fast, is simple, is available for everyone, as social media are really, really inclusive. Therefore, another problem of all the generations is their degrading body. And as Simone showed you before, social dietology influencers have the possibility of defining body acceptance, body positivity, accepting your body as it is. Older generations cannot do anything about their degrading body, but they can accept themselves. And that's what influence on the dietology field can do. But now let's go back to the fact that older generations often pursue an unhealthy lifestyle. Well, in the past, for example, drinking wine was normal. Drinking one or more glasses of wine was considered healthy. Nowadays, it's pretty different. Even though there is people like Giuseppe Valditara, the Minister of Agriculture in Italy, said that drinking wine is healthy. But what's the difference with the past? Well, the difference is that nowadays there are influencers, there are dietology influencers that can debunk what the politicians and other people say, what is not true, as alcohol. I refuse, thank you. As alcohol is unhealthy. So there are, in this point, I've showed you that both younger generations and older generations are affected in a positive way, in a more positive way respect to the past, thanks to dietology influencers. But now let's go to my to the third point and my last point, which is eating disorders awareness. Well, as Simone said before, influencers on the dietology field can spread more information, about diets, but also can spread awareness about eating disorders. Why? Because eating disorders on social media, it is very common to find people promoting eating disorders, as you also said, but in respect to the past, it is pretty different, as now eating disorders are not glorified, as there are experts debunking eating disorders diets. Therefore, it is pretty different to the past. But now let's talk about the consciousness that is spread by these influencers. Well, influencers can spread awareness by saying that eating disorders are psychological issues that are not linked to dietology. Eating disorders are not diets, are psychological problems. And those psychological problems dietology influencers can address people to psychologists and not to in following a diet. Therefore, their followers will understand that all influencers that promote eating disorders are not real influencers, are fake influencers, are not real dietology influencers. They are just bad influencers that, as Simone said before, can be debunked. The socials can decide to undermine their posts. Therefore, eating disorders are not a diet to pursue. And I showed you in conclusion that social medias are an inclusive platform, that everyone can be positively influenced by dietology influencers, and that this is the conclusion of my speech. Thank you.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay. My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, my name is Manuela and I'm the third speaker of the proposition team. Today I'm here to do a resume of the points which my teammates have done. But first thing first, I'd like to rebut what the opposition team said. So, starting from the first speaker of the proposition team, the first thing they talked about was misinformation. Indeed, when we talked about how influencers don't actually know what they're promoting often, and we provided some example, like Kim Kardashian, they said that just some influencers have misinformation, but the majority of them actually have the knowledge to talk about diet and talk about issues related with this field. But as I want to state, influencers, as they have common knowledge, even if they inform themselves, are not actually dietologists. They are not actually doctors. They cannot actually provide an healthy diet because they don't have the competence. Yes?
Are you aware of the fact that actual dietologists are on social media?
Yes, I wanted to tackle that point later on, but except from the fact that dietologists are not dietary influences, so this is not pertinent with the motion, but dietologists are not actually as famous as you claim them to be through the debate. Indeed, you affirm that dietologists have more followers and that we didn't have proof that actually influencers have the majority of the followers. But this is not actually true, because how can you prove that dietologists do have more followers than influencers? If we are talking about dietology influencers, then we affirm that even if dietology talk about these issues on social media, this is not something that is pertinent with the motion itself. Now, I'd like to say something about another thing that the first speaker of the proposition team said. So he talked about body positivity. He said that presence of influences on social media about diet, about this thing can make people more happy in their body. But as we already rebutted through our second speaker, how can you accept yourself if the dietary influencers want you to change your body? Indeed, with the diet, even if you gain weight, if you lose it or gain it, you are changing your body. So you're promoting a way for people to not accept themselves, because acceptance comes from influencers who are actually part of the body positivity movement, which is actually no thank you, which is an actual movement. And I like to say that even the article you mentioned a UE article, is not pertinent with the motion, because even if it is about diet, it is not something, it is a news, it is not something that a dietary influencer has said, has shown, or has stated. So this is not actually pertinent with the motion. I just wanted to underline that. Second thing first, I'd like to rebut what the second speaker of the opposition team said. So indeed, as I already mentioned, there is no evidence that the majority of influencers have enough knowledge to talk about these issues. And indeed, influencers, as I already explained, actually do have more followers because of their work experience. They work on social media, so they should have more followers than dietologists. Also, you talked about eating meat, which was something that you claimed that many people didn't know about, so that eating too much meat could would be bad for your health. And now that it is talked about on social media, it is not a problem. Well, it was not a problem in the first from the first time. It's never been a problem not eating too much meat. Well, it would be a problem, but it is not something people have claimed to suffer about. It is just common knowledge that eating too much food, even if it is meat or any other food, would be just bad. Yes?
Are you aware of the fact that, in respect to the past, this knowledge is now very diffused, while in the past it was not that obvious?
Well, it's not actually true, because it is not something that dietary influence spread. So it's not the main issue they tackle. They do not talk about, oh, you don't have to eat too much meat, because it is common knowledge that eating too much of any food could be bad for your health. Something I like to say, I also like to add things about what the second speaker said about inclusivity. Indeed, he talked about how young people tend to follow their habits, and how social media has shown them a way to change them, to change these habits. And yes, this is exactly our point. Thanks to because of dietary influencers, people change the way they eat, change the way they approach themselves to food, but in a negative way, because as we explained through our first and second point, what dietary influencers are promoting through their diet is not is not a diet, an healthy diet, since they don't have reliable knowledge. They don't often have reliable knowledge about what they're sharing with their public. This proves exactly our first and second point, because with our second point we talked about the lack of credentials, since many influencers don't know what they're promoting. Also, I like to say something about you stated that dietary influence can debunk politicians, but I don't think that's pertinent with the motion. And then, last I'd like to rebut is about the eating disorder that the second speaker talked about. Indeed, eating disorder is a serious problem, and you affirmed that an extreme eating disorders are not related with diet, but it is common knowledge that they are actually correlated. Indeed, even one main characteristic of anorexia, which is an eating disorder, and which, as you said, is a mental illness, as a main characteristic the fact that people starve themselves. So this is why this house believes that influencers in the dietary field cause more harm than good. Thank you for your time.
Let's see. My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everyone, dear jury and proposition team. My name is Raffaele Parisi, and I'm the third speaker of the opposition team debating the motion "Influencers in the dietary field cause more harm than good." During my speech, I'm going to rebuttal some of the points brought by the proposition team, and then I'm going to rebuild what was my team's argumentative line. So, in the first place, I would like to address some points brought by the proposition team that my team's not agreeing with. In the first place, the definition of body positivity. In fact, the third proposition speaker said, how can you accept yourself when you are changing yourself? This implies that a change is always negative and that it's not actually something that can help you be an healthier human being and also accept your figure in a better way. And that was my that's my team's definition of body positivity. Something that helps you to accept your image and also be healthier in the same time. And that's exactly what dietary influencers try to achieve on a daily basis on social media. Also, the third proposition speaker said that dietologists can be dietary influencers and do not necessarily have more rich in the sense of reaching people than other influencers. In the first place, actually, dietologists can be dietary influencers because they can actually create accounts on social media. And in the second place, it's not always true that other influencers than dietologists have more reach to people. So that's clearly false information brought by the third proposition speakers. Then I'm going to rebuttal some of the major points brought by the proposition team. In the first place, the fact that influencers influencers often promote losing weight in bad ways like fasting and also affect the mental and physical health of their followers. So, the first proposition speaker said that she brought an examples of how influencers, yes.
Do you have any proof that the dietologists in general have more impact than in dietary influencers?
I don't have proof that dietologists have more impact, but as my colleagues specified before, social medias are a fast information social. So information can spread like a virus through all followers. If a dietologist that's an expert in the field actually says something useful and valid, and their followers, share them with their friends or other followers, the good information and not the misinformation. The good information actually spreads and people can fight misinformation and understand better the topic. So it's not necessarily true that dietologists have more reach or more impact, more reach than dietary influencers, but they surely have more reach. Moreover, there are guidelines on social media that actually help to fight misinformation. So if something on social media is false and a dietologist, an expert, notices it, it can actually it can brought that up to the attention of the guidelines directors, I know, and so that they can remove it from social medias. So going back to my speech, As I was saying, the first proposition speaker said that often influencers tend to say to their followers to lose weight by fasting or by methods similar to fasting. These influencers are to be considered as an exception in respect to the large number of experts, as my colleagues already said, present on social media that actually help people achieving body positivity. As I said, it's an healthy lifestyle. So improving also their mental health because of fighting body dysmorphia. That's a problem also very common through people. But also their physical health, as I said, providing them with guidelines with general guidelines on on diets, basically, and how to achieve a healthy lifestyle. So body positivity. Then the second proposition speaker said that dietary influencers do not promote healthy lifestyle. It is true that some influencers promote extreme standards. And they brought examples of it, but we can't ignore the influence that experts on social media have on people. Every media is contaminated by bad information, so by misinformation. But on social media, which is a fast media, misinformation is simpler to fight through instantaneous feedback of dietary influencers and also by the guidelines. Then she also said that dietary influencers affect the mental and physical health of their followers and also create a distorted beauty standard. As my first speaker said, these influencers need to be considered as an exception, and it's clear that bad influencers exist, but the good impact of dietary influence can't be denied, and that's what we are debating today, the good impact of good influencers on social medias. Then I would like to debunk the second major point brought by the proposition team, the fact that going back to the fourth point they brought, that also reconnects with our first argument, the fact that the good dietary influencers help people achieve body positivity and understand diet's guidelines. And that's obviously a good thing because in the past, these topics were not very talked about. So spreading good information about the diet guidelines, healthy lifestyle, helps people improve their way of living life. And that's obviously a good thing the dietary influencers are doing on the social medias. Then, the second major point brought by the proposition team was how influencers don't have the necessary studies to talk about the dietary science. The problem with the propositions team's point is that they're considering it as absolute, so not acknowledging the presence of other influencers, the good influencers, the experts in the field that can actually provide attainable information that people can use to their advantage. It's false to say that influencers caused more harm than good because they helped spread information and not misinformation, information on the topic. Also, the second proposition speaker said that we said experts are the majority of the influencers. They criticized us on this point. However, Valerio said that experts spread attainable information which, as a virus, travels from person to person, fighting misinformation. So it's obviously a good thing. Now, I would like to reveal what was my team's argumentative line. Simone, the first speaker, said that dietary influencers have helped people achieve body positivity and understand diet's guidelines. Experts on social media have a big reach and help people improve their physical and mental health instead of old magazines and bad influencers promoting extreme standards, for example, Kate Moss. Then Valerio, the second speaker, talked about how the dietary influencers help to achieve inclusion on social media. In fact, influencers have a positive impact because they reach a wide range of people, unlike older medias. And then he also said how the dietary influencers help to spread awareness on eating disorders. In fact, influencers help the stakeholders of this debate to understand eating disorders and spread awareness in respect to this issue. I would like to thank the jury for listening to me and also the proposition team. Now I end my speech.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, I'm Valerio again, and this is my reply speech. During this debate, you have witnessed their judges, the opposition of two words, the word of the opposition team, the word of inclusion, the word of an healthy lifestyle, and the word of the proposition team, the word of reduction and anachronism. But why is that? Well, let's go to the main point of crash during this whole debate that was about body positivity. We have showed you that dietary influences have changed the common view of eating disorders, of body dysmorphia, while the other team said have totally ignored the fact that in the past the problem was more serious. Therefore, they are the word of anachronism because they just ignored the changes of the present and just said that the past, the problems of the past were the same of the present, which is not true. Now let's move on to a common point, which paradoxically was common between our team and their team, the fact that bad influencers do exist. Well, we said that bad influencers exist, but overall experts have a bigger impact, and therefore the dietary influencers are overall more good than harmful, while the other team has said that they are the vast majority. Bad influencers are the vast majority, therefore they are more harmful. But have they told you why? Have they proved that? Have they brought you any proof, any evidence? Well, their answer is not. And for this reason, another main point of crash during this whole debate is about experts. Well, we said that experts, dietologists, can be influencers, which is obvious, while the other team has said that there is no expert influencer, which is of course not a fact. It's just not true. There are experts on social medias about every sector, and the dietology one especially. So we can say that we were the team of a diet value lifestyle, which is another one of the point of crashes. As diet value, we have showed you with our example of the European Union, that the Mediterranean diet, that diet value and healthy lifestyle do exist, while the other team has just said that it is not relevant, or it just does not exist. Maybe we don't know, but we have showed you also that dietary influencers have and will continue spreading information on diet value, on an healthy lifestyle. Then another team was the winning team, of course, as it has also proved that all stakeholders are influenced by the motion and by these dietary influencers, as everyone can have access to the past, and therefore everyone can have a conscious diet. And this is why we are the team of inclusion. We are the team of inclusion because we have talked about every stakeholder, why they didn't actually prove why dietary influencers have done overall more harm than good, but we did. In fact, from the opposition of these two words, our team was the winning team. The team of inclusion, the team of an healthy lifestyle was the winning team. And therefore, I want to conclude my reply speech by saying that there are a lot of examples about dietary influences, but the other team has only showed you partial examples, influencers that are not real experts on the dietology field, but in our world, in the world of the inclusion and of the healthy lifestyle, influencers, dietology influencers are both experts and common people who can really help spread consciousness on eating disorders and other topics. Thank you for listening to me.
My speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Throughout this debate, we have tackled two main clash points, which I am going to explain during this speech. The first clash point regards the impact of beauty standards, while the second one regards the existence of experts on social media. Tackling the first point, the opposition team stated that actually dietary influencers promote body positivity, since they showed as they said, people that they can improve their body image, and they can be more fit through their routines. But my team rebutted by saying that actually the standards that they are promoting are totally unrealistic, as the second speaker of my team stated, since also these fitness influencers and dietary influencers use apps like Photoshop in order to change their photos and to fit in the beauty standards of our society. So they are actually being harmful towards all the people that follow them, because they are showing them something that they will never actually reach. The second clash point, which is actually the most important one and the main one, regards the fact that the opposition team stated that experts on social media have more impact than the majority of influencers that are, as they agreed, uninformed, since they have the knowledge. This actually proves our thesis, as my third speaker stated, since the majority of them, the most popular influencers, actually are uninformed and promote a lifestyle that is not healthy. And since we all agreed on this, actually the opposition team proved our thesis, since if they have, as my third speaker said, if they have more followers, then their impact will be more. About this, I would like to say another thing, which regards the fact that even if we take for granted that experts do exist and that they have their community and their own impact, even if we take this for granted, actually this does not prove that influencers are more harmful, are more beneficial than harmful, since influencers that are uninformed exist and they have their community, people that actually listen to them, as my team stated. So this just proves our points and proves the fact that the existence of influencers on the dietary field actually is doing harm to people, since they are not promoting an healthy lifestyle. My team was the one that focused on the importance of protecting people, of protecting their mental health, of protecting their lifestyle, and that should not be conditioned by some influencers that do not have the knowledge that is necessary in order to give them recommendations about their diet, about their fitness routines. So to conclude my speech, I would like to say that we are debating here today to underline the importance of protecting people, and this should have been what also the opposition team focused on. Thank you.